And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Welcome back to Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock, here each and every day on Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM. We have, a great day here in Phoenix, Arizona. It's very beautiful in the studios of Freedoms with an S, freedomsphoenix.com. My special guest, Anthony Gregory from the Independent Institute. And I just got to, Anthony, I want to ask you this. I just got a call in the break. They're putting on a thing at Wrigley Mansion, which is up by the Arizona Biltmore here, and it's every year for the past few years they've been doing a Bill of Rights Day, and they'll read the amendments, in the preamble and so on, and they'll talk about various different things, and and it's kind of, you can kind of imagine the crowd. I mean, there's a libertarian bent to this thing, and a lot of constitutionalists, like gun rights guys, NRA-ish, Republican kind of thing going on, and they asked if I would read one of the rights. And I'm thinking, I'm going, what are they going to throw on me? Do I get to pick? And I asked you, Anthony, do you have a favorite? Is there a Bill of Rights, an amendment that you go, yeah, this one's, this is what's got my attention. What would you want to read?
I guess the 9th Amendment.
And let's go down to the 9th. What we got here? Protection of rights not specifically enumerated to the Constitution. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. All right, go ahead and define that for me.
Well, it means that, I'm not I like the Bill of Rights as far as it goes, but I'm actually kind of a contrarian on the Bill of Rights. There are problems with it. I don't know if we'd be better off without it and so forth. But the 10th Amendment used to be my favorite, and I still like the 10th Amendment because it involves keeping the feds out and letting the states and the people have authority where the feds are not authorized, specifically by the Constitution. But the 9th is even kind of better because instead of talking about government power and states' rights and so forth, it's about individual rights. And then I think that it basically means that just because the Bill of Rights or the Constitution says that you have some bundle of rights, it doesn't mean that you don't have other rights. That you have all your rights. And I'd say, well, how do you figure that out? I guess you need a philosophy to figure that out. And I have a natural rights philosophy. I think we all have individual rights and property and self-ownership, self-determination, and non-aggression principle and all that. And I guess the 9th is my favorite. But, the Bill of Rights Day, I used to be a big fan, and I still kind of like it. But you notice that almost everyone who talks about the Bill of Rights, certainly conservatives and liberals, they're very selective in what they like about the Bill of Rights. They only like the parts of it they think that protect the rights they believe are important.
Yeah, I've been exposed to a lot of people on the left and the right, and in my years over at the Air America affiliate here, as their token libertarians, we, Charles and I, we gave them what for, and I found a lot more in common with the left, only in this respect. I got the feeling that they genuinely felt that they wanted to do what was right for their fellow man. That was the promise that brought them in. That was the promise that was made to them. We're going to use government to do right by people that need help, that need protection from the abuser, be they some fascist, corporatist entity that's taken away their goodies and so on in the name of. And we need to have the government in our hands so that we can do good by individuals. On the Republican side, it kind of went like, look, man, the whole engine of America, the business of America is business. And we need to have America, serve our interests so that you have the standard of living that you're enjoying and give us the power and we'll whatever. Then you have the the main third opposition to that would be the libertarian philosophy, which, look, man, the only role government plays is just to leave me alone, let me do what I want to do, and we all benefit. And that is so much kryptonite to both sides that I'm wondering what you think the progress we have made, the resistance that we're getting from the state now in the form of like the attack on WikiLeaks and so on. We'll get to that in a little bit. And we have some positive aspects. We got Ron Paul's going to be taking over subcommittee and get to slap Ben Bernanke around on a regular basis. But, you know, where are we winning? Are we winning? Do we have more people aware? Are they starting to have to pick a side? Are they just, you know, so uneducated, uninformed that they don't even want to participate? You know, tell me where you think we're at in this battle to free minds, because that's what it's all about. It's always a revolution between the years. The culture is reflected in that nation's politics or that geographical area or even the world now. It's kind of boundaries are starting to go away. So where are we at in this global battle for freedom?
Well, you know, I agree with you completely on this idea that the revolution's between the years. I think that if people's minds and hearts aren't with liberty, it doesn't matter what the Constitution says. It doesn't matter who's in power. What really matters is public ideology and philosophy. And I'd say that if we look at it in the very long term, we shouldn't be quite as despondent as we sometimes get, because there's been a lot of progress in the very long term in appreciating the individual over the collective. There's also, if you take the long view and you look at American history even, there's a lot that's gotten much worse, but there's a lot that's improved. We don't have mass conscription or chattel slavery, and women are allowed to own property, no Jim Crow. That kind of stuff is pretty important. We also have probably on overall freer trade, less gun restriction on the local level. Taxes are lower than they used to be. As absurd as that sounds, there are some things that have improved. In the short term, there's also some reason for hope, because the libertarian movement is so much bigger than it's ever been. So many more people really understand liberty as a full radical idea. And globally, you used the word global, I'd say there's a lot of hope in the rest of the world. I mean, the U.S. might look like it's become more and more statist. It has my entire lifetime, probably. But in much of the rest of the world, I mean, look at China. I mean, China used to be one giant concentration camp under, you know, Mao, who's tied for the worst murder in world history, if not the worst. And now, as imperfect as China is, we've got over 1 billion people who've gone from, you know, the total opposite of freedom to having the right trajectory. And this is true of much of the world. Unfortunately, the U.S. is not the beacon for liberty that it once was.
I was just talking to a young man. He's probably 22, 23, and he's relative of a good friend of mine, and he lives in Las Vegas, and he's been going to Las Vegas University there. And he just told me this morning, I was calling to talk to my friend, and he was there, and he said, I'm going to China. I am immersing myself into a family, a friend that I have over there, to where 6 months, he goes 6 hours a day, Chinese university there, only cost him $1,500 for his tuition, and he's going 6 months, nothing but Mandarin. Then he may extend it another 6 months. He goes, man, you know, when you compare freedoms in China to the United States, it's hard to tell the difference, and where's the economic engine? We'll talk about that more when we come back here on Declare Your Independence.